here for you.
Today on Animal Outtakes.
See how mellow these guys are. Not everybody has rear fangs and sharp teeth.
We're doing some reptile research and finding out why snakes, turtles, and dragons are so wildly popular.
Reptiles are just, for me, they're prehistoric. You know, they've been around forever.
It's just a very unassuming great pet, you know.
Eddie and I have a meaningful relationship. Welcome to Animal Outtakes. When you think of pets, cats and dogs may come to mind first. But many of the most popular animals in the country don't have any fur at all. Today, we're learning about some amazing reptiles. And there's a lot to cover, so let's get started.
Oh yeah, they bring me joy. They crack me up. And they keep my sanity.
Catherine Stranahan loves her lizards.
And these are good starter pets. The leopard geckos, my girlfriend Cheryl, she has about 1,000 of these.
And who is that little guy?
This is a Chihuahua. This is a Rhacodilias. And they're from New Caledonia. They're sticky feet geckos, and they're very soft.
These reptiles have always been a part of her life.
Even as a child, I've always had reptiles because my father had asthma and allergies, so I wasn't allowed to have furry friends. And so even since a kid, I've always had the garden snakes and everything like that.
And with 5 boys and a daughter of her own, she loves the convenience.
Because they're so easy. They're an easy pet. They're not like a furry friend that has to have the attention. Yeah. The love, and reptiles, they make a great pet.
Now, who is your shoulder pin?
Okay, this is a bearded dragon.
Bearded dragons are medium-sized lizards, usually growing to be between 1 and 2 feet long. They get the name bearded because of how the spikes and scales around their head resemble a beard.
She's older, she's about 5, and has German bloodlines, and she's red, and she eats everything. She eats vegetables, green peppers, romaine. She also eats crickets, any kind of bugs. She is my garbage disposal.
In the wild, these reptiles usually live between 5 and 8 years. In captivity, under good care, that lifespan can increase to 12 or even more years.
Now, the bearded dragon, any mean streaks that go through them?
No, not really. And I tell you, she sits right where I sit in my living room. Her tank is right beside me. She headbutts it. She waves hello. They wave. That's how they signal other ones. And I only have her, and she is a wonderful starter pet for kids, for bearded dragons are. Especially little boys, because they're a little bit rougher, and these are a little bit more hardy. And they're very easy, again, to keep.
Now, I've got Eddie here, and Eddie is holding on to me for dear life.
He is a good chameleon. This is a panther chameleon, and he's an antelope, and to me, they're the most hardiest and easiest to raise.
Native to Madagascar, the panther chameleon is one of the most colorful species available. They spend their lives in trees and bushes, and their toes have adapted to help them balance on the limbs. They also have prehensile tails to help steady themselves while climbing. And he's a beautiful bracelet actually right now. He's wrapped himself totally around me. Right. Now he's a real loving guy. I mean, when I pull my finger away and I bring it back, he's just waiting for it and he wants to grab it. And he's got a pretty good hold on me.
Yeah, to feel secure.
Yeah.
Feel secure.
Tell us about these eyes. These eyes that are going, it looks almost 360.
Well, they're turrets. They can. If you're behind him and hold him like this, he can see behind him. No problem. And they do have the dual vision, where they're looking over here and then they're looking over here at the same time. Chameleons are a lone animal. And if you ever see them in the wild or anything, they would be by themselves, and they are always trying to disguise themselves as a leaf or camouflage, but they're not outgoing at all, unless, they're like want you to go away. But Eddie's older. He's very mellow. He is a good chameleon.
Catherine's love for all things reptile doesn't stop with lizards. She also has an affinity for snakes.
Tell me what I'm holding today.
You are holding a male pied ball python.
Pied. Okay, can you explain the difference between this and one that you might find in the wild?
Okay, a normal, these are different morphs. A normal would look just like all the brown here, and it would be plain. And they've been bred for the different colors and the different variations. And this one is called a pied.
The ball python is the most popular pet python in the world.
Now, why would somebody want a snake as a pet?
As a pet, easy to keep. As they get older, you only feed them every couple weeks. No, hardly any maintenance with them. And they're friendly. You know, you don't have to worry about dog hair all over. You don't have to worry, like, oh, I have to have a pet sitter if you're going to go away. And they are very neat. I like to watch them.
At 4 years old, Rocky is still a youngster. The ball python can live on an average of around 30 years.
Now he's full grown. So when he starts out, I mean, he's
Little
guy.
Little guy.
Okay.
And then the females get really big. Not really big, but I mean, fatter and stuff, because ball pythons only get about 4 feet long.
Yeah, he's pretty docile.
Is this the natural coloring?
No. These are bred to be that color.
In fact, breeding for unique colors and patterns are a big part of the pet snake industry, with rare snakes going for thousands of dollars. Bob King, a ball python breeder, says it's all natural.
In nature, you know, all these animals started out in the jungles of Africa and things like that, so that's where they're from. You have dominant genes, you have recessive genes, so any dominant gene you're going to find in the wild. In the wild, they're going to find each other and potentially mate, so in captivity, you have a little bit more creative discretion, for lack of a better word, but in the wild, they're going to find each other and mate, so it doesn't pose any health risks at all to the animal.
This would be our starter snake.
Right. These are known as pastels, which basically is today's common. The common, quote-unquote, common ball python, which we don't have any, typically are just a brown animal. Instead of these high yellows and oranges, it would just be a brown alien head. But the pastel has really taken the common's place.
So now take us through the progression.
Okay.
If we were to move up.
Okay, a good base gene, we'll call it, is a pastel. And then if you mixed it with a fire gene, which is a brightening gene, and a lesser gene, which washes stuff out, you would get a pastel lesser fire, which you can see it's much brighter, but all the spots on the alien heads are washed out. That's from the lesser gene. And all this blushing on the back is from the fire gene. So you have 3 genes in this animal.
So for snake aficionados, we want more genes.
Right.
That's what we're looking for.
Right.
There was a snake that was $1,000.
Yep, the super pewter.
What makes a snake $1,000?
So the super pewter, it's a super pastel, super cinnamon, so it's 4 genes already. When you breed these, you will not produce any normals, so everything will be a pastel cinnamon or a pewter already.
I think the question in my mind is, why would you spend that kind of money on a snake?
It's an investment. Again, you get into
But you're talking an investment, Bob.
Right.
Tell me why this is an investment.
I look at the projects that we do, the return, if this animal has, or a female has 6 eggs, bred to the right male, I mean, you're looking at probably $3,000 to $5,000 an egg.
Why has this become such a hobby for people?
I think it's anything, you know, like cats and dogs. You have your cat enthusiasts, you have your dog enthusiasts. Reptiles are just, for me, they're prehistoric. You know, they've been around forever. It's a fascinating hobby. You can start with a normal or a pastel and create, you know, 5,000. Right now, there's about 5,000 known combinations on the market. So you just have unlimited creativity on your side.
Still ahead on Animal Outtakes.
And having that proper setup is going to give you the ability to care for that animal and make sure it's eaten, healthy, the whole 9 yards.
What gear to get before bringing home your new pet? But first, a tiny tortoise with a big future.
How long would it take for him to get to the size that you're talking
50 to 100 years.
We're talking turtles next.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dante's Den, an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dante's Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dante's Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
Hi, I'm Marcia Panucci, founder of the Dante's Den Foundation.
And I'm Ron Dixon, the Executive Director out at the Dens. Dante's Den has come a long way since its inception to where we are now.
We've helped hundreds of dogs since we've opened, but now we need your help.
We sure do, Marcia. Dante's Den needs great volunteers to help us feed, walk, and play with all of our furry friends.
So come on out and enjoy our 50 acres of beautiful countryside where you can also feed miniature Holstein cows.
And their babies.
And Hee-Haw.
The donkey.
And Buttercup.
A beautiful miniature horse.
If you would like to be a part of our joyful community of dogs, please visit dantesden.org.
Or call us toll-free at 844-DANTES-DEN. That's 844-366-8336.
Come on out today and see what makes us so special.
For me, it started with one hit of sardines. Oh, sardines. That's where I learned to beg. It was easy to score free fish. I mean, hey, with this dolphin smile, yeah, it's illegal, but no one cares. I had a monkey on my back, man. I was jonesing for people food, hanging out under boats, dodging props and hooks, and doing dangerous stuff that I'm ashamed to admit. Look, I know that I can kick this if people would just stop feeding me.
We're learning all about reptiles today, and so far we've dabbled with dragons, lizards, and snakes. But there's another species that catches our attention.
Steve, there's an absolute allure about turtles.
This is.
Why?
Well, they're innocent, they're unassuming, they're easy to get along with, they're easy to care for, you know.
Are they really?
Yeah, they really are. And they have individual personalities just like any other pet.
Now, what is truly the difference between a turtle and a tortoise?
Tortoise is a land-based animal. A turtle is aquatic. You know, that's the biggest difference.
Okay.
And a wood turtle is in between. They're half aquatic and half land.
Okay. Can we pick him up?
Sure.
Is there a correct way to pick? No? There he is.
It's hard to imagine these tiny tortoises as anything but small, but you should make sure you know what you're buying.
This is a yellowfoot tortoise. He's native to South America. And these are sulcata tortoises, and they're native to Africa. And they're probably, this is the second largest tortoise in the world.
This little guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Next to a Galapagos tortoise, he's going to be the biggest tortoise that you're going to get.
The sulcata tortoise is also known as the African spurred, or African spur-thigh tortoise. As hatchlings, they're only 1.5 to 2 inches long, but they can grow to be close to 3 feet in length and weigh more than 200 pounds.
How long would it take for him to get to the size that you're talking
50
about?
to 100 years.
So we'd have to will him to somebody, right? Yeah.
He'll get maybe, like so, till about, in maybe 5 to 6 years. And then after that, he slows down, you know, and he'll live, you know, for quite some time. And they continue to grow and continue to grow.
So these are the land turtles.
These are the land turtles.
Okay. Now we have the swimmers.
The swimmers. These are the aquatics. And most of these are Florida natives or close to Florida in this particular tub. And they're varying species, of course. We're known for carrying a lot of different species.
In fact, there's more than 30 different species of turtle living in Florida.
All of these, the hardy turtles are great starter turtles. The problem is that most of the ones that stay, what's popular are the turtle species that stay small. Unfortunately, they're also the most expensive, okay? It's just the way they are, you know, but any of your cooters or your sliders or your map turtles, they're all good beginner's turtles.
Now, how big will this little guy get?
That's a hieroglyphic river cooter, and when he's full grown, that turtle will, if it's a female, full adult size for that turtle will be 16 to 18 inches, so that'll be a good sized turtle. And a male will be about half that size. The females are always larger than the males in all the species.
And the reason for that is?
Usually it's because the female is larger, it needs more room to carry the eggs.
Now, as turtles go, Steve, this is one of the prettiest.
That's an extremely rare turtle.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's a rare turtle. That's a Pearl River map turtle. He's found only in one tiny little tributary of the Pearl River, which flows into the Mississippi, and they're extremely rare.
And he is very active. He's ready to go, huh? He's pushing off of me like he's going to dive in.
From big to small, turtle or tortoise, Steve says no matter the species, these reptiles make excellent companions.
Just a very unassuming great pet, you know.
Next on Animal Outtakes.
Are we in love?
Yes,
He's my boy now?
he's just being secure.
What will it be? Is Eddie coming home with me? Find out what reptile we adopted and what you should do before taking home a new pal.
Hi, I'm Marcia Panucci, founder of the Dante's Den Foundation.
And I'm Ron Dixon, the executive director out at the Dens. Dante's Den has come a long way since its inception to where we are now.
We've helped hundreds of dogs since we've opened, but now we need your help.
We sure do, Marcia. Dante's Den needs great volunteers to help us feed, walk, and play with all of our furry friends.
So come on out and enjoy our 50 acres of beautiful countryside where you can also feed miniature Holstein cows.
And their babies.
And Hee-Haw.
The donkey.
And Buttercup.
A beautiful miniature horse.
If you would like to be a part of our joyful community of dogs, please visit dantesden.org.
Or call us toll free at 844-DANTES-DEN. That's 844-366-8336.
Come on out today and see what makes us so special. On Animal Outtakes, every week, it's a new animal adventure. From meeting curious lemurs to feeding big cats and hosing down rhinos, there's never a dull moment. And sometimes these amazing animals chime in. Tune in to Animal Outtakes to find out what they have to say. Watch Animal Outtakes this weekend on ABC 7.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Well, canine distemper is a virus that can be actually very destructive. And this virus is usually affecting animals that are non-vaccinated or non-immune to it. So they're usually young animals that haven't had a chance to build an immune system. And we can go ahead and take her in the OR. Super. And what happens with these dogs is the virus will go ahead and hit the immune system, and it will go ahead and climb into their brain. So it starts usually respiratory with a cough, sneezes, eye discharge, and eventually it'll go all the way into their brain and can cause seizures. And by that time, it can actually pretty much kill the dog. So it's a very devastating virus. Once it reaches nervous system, it's irreversible. It's not like rabies where it's going to be killing you every time, but you can be left with a lot of damage, and these dogs can suffer for a long time. So distemper is something we want to avoid because it's also, at the time that it is respiratory, it's extremely contagious. If it goes to the brain, at that point in time, it's no longer contagious, but in the respiratory form, it can pass it on to anybody within the environment of a breathing.
After our reptile research, it's time to decide on a new pet. But what will it be? A tiny turtle?
I was tickling him on that back leg, and now he's just kind of wrapped it around me.
Yeah,
so
they can feel everything you're doing. They can feel the legs. They can feel what you're doing on the shell.
Perhaps a charming chameleon.
Eddie and I have a meaningful relationship going on here. We are just loving one another.
Or maybe a sassy snake.
Oh, Rocky's cool.
Would you take Rocky home?
Yeah, definitely. Rocky's pretty cool.
In the end, we opted for a ball python. Now we just have to make sure we have the right home for our new pet.
Scott, you've now convinced me I should have a snake as a pet.
Just one or two.
Okay. So if I'm going to do this, what do I have to get so that the snake can have a wonderful home?
Well, a proper setup is going to lead you to a very longevity life of the animal, and having that proper setup is going to give you the ability to care for that animal and make sure it's eaten, healthy, the whole 9 yards.
The habitats for all reptiles vary depending on what kind of animal you get, but they all need some kind of enclosure to keep them contained and safe.
Well, today's technology, we have some sliding track and groove tanks.
Okay.
So they actually have this nice aluminum track metal in it, and it slides right into there. And when it closes, it's locked, secured, and escape-proof. So this is some really good innovations that we have in the technology world today.
So this is a true snake cage, not something that's been retrofitted from something else.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay.
We're not using aquariums anymore and then trying to make
Okay.
it to a reptile enclosure.
After buying our tank, it's time for the substrate, which is a fancy word for what lines the bottom of your tank.
They make all different types of substrates or flooring. You can get anything from aspen to bark chips to eco earth. You can use carpet. So it's important to make sure that when you're selecting your animal, that you select the right substrate for the animal. I mean, if the animal's a tropical animal, we may need a wet substrate, something that they can burrow into. If it's a desert animal, they may need something a little more dry. So one substrate just doesn't match everything anymore. We want to get the right substrate.
Now that we've got our flooring covered, it's time to decorate. One thing you should definitely have in your tank is a safe place for your reptile to hide.
So they make everything from really basic wooden hides to very nice poured polymer plastics that actually look real wood-like. And you'll find that they have different textures. Some are going to be smooth, some are going to be rough. That's going to help the animal shed. But most important...
Simulating what would have been out in the wild?
That's correct.
Okay.
But most important is the animal's going to want to feel like it has somewhere it can go into to hide from or to sleep. Kind of like when we get tired, we go to the bedroom to go to sleep. That's our safe area.
Okay.
That's the same thing for our animals. Now, after we get a basic hide out of the way, we're going to need to select a water dish. Obviously, our animals are going to need to be able to bathe, soak, drink. And so we want to make sure that we pick the right size water dish for that animal. I guess there's no such thing as too big of a water dish, but we definitely don't want to go too small. This would be more for like geckos or your snakes that we're discussing today. A nice deep bowl with the animals. But they even make custom bowls for tortoises because tortoises can't go into this bowl. They can't get out.
They can't get in or can't get out.
We have ramp bowls here. If you have very small animals, it makes it easy for them to get in and get out.
Okay.
So the industry overall is moving their products based on certain water bowls for certain animals.
Finally, since reptiles are cold-blooded, most of them need heat to help them digest their food. There are several different kinds of reptile lamps and bulbs on the market, so be sure to know what is right for your new pet.
So now I've bought the snake, and let's say I've spent $50 for the snake. What does all of this cost to add on to it?
Well, depending on the size of the animal, you're probably going to spend anywhere from $65 to $150.
Scott stresses that before buying a snake or any other reptile, make sure to do your homework.
That's talking to the person that you're buying the snake from. Asking a lot of those smart questions. Like, first question is, how big does this snake get? Because we have a lot of people out there that they buy a snake and it looks cute and cuddly as a baby, but they don't realize that that's a red-tailed boa that's going to get 8 feet long.
We'll be right back.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News, on Roku. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News, on the go. Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Staying hydrated is key to beating this oppressive heat. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Dr. Jenny is here to talk about how to make the water you drink work better for your body. One way to beat the heat is in the air conditioning at the family-friendly Summer Circus Spectacular at the Ringling. We'll have a preview, plus the latest trends in engagement rings. And Gold Rush Barbecue joins us in the kitchen.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
At ABC7, our entire weathercast is dedicated to the Suncoast, and now we bring it to you like never before with the all-new official Suncoast forecast. Beach and boating forecast. The winds will be out of the northwest at 10 knots.
Now, with the most advanced graphics and technology, we bring you weather where you live, pinpointing right down to your neighborhood.
Zooming into the Sarasota Bayfront,
the all-new official Suncoast forecast, only on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org.
Well, that's all the time we have for our Reptile Rendezvous.
Thanks for coming along as we got to know some truly amazing animals and learned a little something about them, too.
Join us again next week for another outstanding animal adventure.
Yeah, that's a rare turtle. That's a Pearl River map turtle. And he's found only in one type. Oops! That's so got to be careful because they take off.
Well, she's not the pro.
She won't bother you, even if she goes up around the shoulders, I promise. She's very friendly.
We got a professional here, too. So we're rolling.
Okay.
If she latches on, I'll get her off quick.
Thank you.
That's going to be.
Hope my insurance is paid up. Okay.
Are you serious?
At ABC7, it's all about being here for you. ABC7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community with a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers. Plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast. Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Brought to you by the Florida Lottery.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC 7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Learn how to prepare a readiness plan and survival kit. Know your evacuation route. Be prepared, Suncoast, when severe weather threatens. Access our special on our ABC 7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. ABC 7's Pump Patrol, a list of the Suncoast's cheapest gas on mysuncoast.com. The all-new mysuncoast.com. Just another way we're here.